What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Let me say that one more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Make your next thing a big one. Today on the program, I have Jenifer Lopez. Jenifer Lopez is on the program. Yeah. You'll figure out which Jenifer Lopez in the next few minutes. So stick around. Stick around. You don't want to miss that. All right, this week's shows, I'll be at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas for my regular Friday night gig, video dance party, karaoke jam. Yeah, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show. Yeah, all you have to do to be a star is show up at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas on Friday night. I'm there about at least 48 weeks out of the year, sometimes 49, maybe 50 weeks out of the year. I think I've only taken 2 weeks off out of the many, many, many years that I've been at the Rab on and off. My goodness, that I like that place. They got a full bar, the kitchen's open, pool tables, pool tournament on Friday nights. It's the place to be on a Friday night. If you're anywhere near the Conway, Arkansas area, I encourage you to come out to the Rab in Conway and come see me. Come have some fun with me at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Yeah, you heard me. 8 p.m. until, I think we're going until about 1 a.m. And yes, we're taking care of each other during this time of COVID, so that way we don't have to be stuck inside in quarantine. So if you want to come out and play, wear a mask as you come in, as you're walking around, when you're interacting with people. Anytime you're standing, wear a mask. When you're sitting down having your drinks and having your food, you can take the mask down. How about that? And we'll take care of each other. Keeping vigilant while we get through this. All right, I think that's enough intro. Let's get into it with Jenifer Lopez. All right, I got the opportunity to get on Skype with Jenifer Lopez. So if you're listening to the audio version of this, I encourage you to check out the video version of this. Head over to my YouTube, youtube.com/user/KeysDAN, or just look up KeysDAN on YouTube, and I'm sure you'll see my name and the Radio What logo right next to it, and that'll let you know you're in the right place. You can search up Jenifer Lopez right on that feed. There, you did it. You've done it. All right, let's get into it with Jenifer Lopez. Skyping Jenifer Lopez now.
All right.
You did it. You win. You're smarter than the machine.
That's all I needed to be told. The stop down button where the Wi-Fi says that.
Yes.
That's all I needed.
All right. Set it down in front of you.
It is. I still can't see you, but I see me up in the little corner there.
Okay. Wow. Why can't you see me? All right. Well, you'll see it on the video when it comes out. All right. I got Jenifer Lopez on the line. No, not that Jenifer Lopez. The one that counts. The only one that counts. I guess Jenifer Guy Ranch would be the Twitter feed. But I have that underneath your name. If you're listening to the audio version of this, I encourage you to check out the video version, because then you'll see Jenifer Lopez right there next to me. See, when I'm pointing right at your face. So we're going to have an audio version of this podcast, and we'll have a video version of this podcast. Jenifer Lopez, let the people know who you are.
Hi, I'm Jenifer Lopez, J-Lo. And I'm here with my 2 kids with me, Casey and Tyler. They wanted to be in on the chat. And I'm here because I've started a GoFundMe for the Grace Bounds Ranch so that we can get a facility built to open a equine assisted and hippotherapy center for our community.
So it's about horses, and it's about, well, tell me a little bit more about it. I mean, that's the overview. That's the top of the Wikipedia. There's got to be a whole lot more to the Jenifer Lopez and say the name of the ranch again.
It's Grace Abounds Ranch. And so it is about horses. It uses horses in therapy for people. So it's really about people. It's about helping others, people with differently abled, different abilities out there. And so what I've done is this year, I lost both of my jobs due to the COVID-19. And I was working 2 jobs for the last 5 years to help try to get funds to build us a barn and, eventually an arena and a place to use to host hippotherapy and equine assisted therapy for people. But since I've lost my 2 jobs, now I'm kind of needing some help getting our barn built and fencing that I bought paid for, so we can keep the progress flowing. And that's really why I started the GoFundMe this year, is to just reach out to the people out there and see if they can contribute and help us out. So I guess I can explain a little bit what hippotherapy even is. Some people might not be familiar with that. The kids here, when I first mentioned it, thought it had something to do with hippopotamus.
Yeah, please do. Let us know, Jenifer Lopez. What is hippotherapy?
Right. So hippotherapy is just therapists who use horses to help as a device to help treat somebody who may be physically unable to walk or move. So you have physical therapy, occupational therapy, and therapy that falls underneath the hippotherapy realm. And so what they'll do is they'll use a horse to help. The patient will ride the horse, and the therapist will put on different programs and different things to do to use their muscles and build their core strength. And it's a very good tool for them because it works the whole body and increases flexibility, not to mention the mental aspect of it for somebody who can just be on a horse. Anyone who's in a wheelchair is down usually lower than everyone else, but you put them on a horse and they're just up in the air. They can see out everywhere. It just really lifts the mood. Mentally, it's very good for people, builds their confidence.
I imagine so, Jenifer Lopez. I know that I used to ride horses in my reckless youth, and having that much power of that much animal, developing a camaraderie, because there were some horses, I'm a much bigger fellow. I'm sorry that you can't see me on the screen, but certainly, I'm a much bigger fellow, and there's been some smaller horses, or some horses. I had a girlfriend who weighed about 96 pounds soaking wet, and me, I'm up over 250. Mm-hmm. And her horse, Mr. Prince, did not like it when I got up on his back because she was so light and I was so heavy. So I really had to give Mr. Prince some convincing and really develop a relationship before I could even ride that horse. So I imagine that has to be part of the therapy, is developing a relationship with your animal. Is that right?
That's right. And, when you can, tell a 1,000-pound, 1,200-pound animal where to go, that makes you feel 10 foot tall and bulletproof. So the confidence there is just, wonderful. And so, somebody might be coming to have hippotherapy to help them, like I say, keep their muscle strength, create flexibility and everything. Maybe they're not able to walk due to an injury. Car wrecks, born with certain kind of neurological diseases, people in a wheelchair. So this helps keep their flexibility and can prolong their movement in life, what they're able to do.
Yeah, it amazes.
And keep that muscle strength.
It amazes.
That's physical, but mm-hmm.
Yeah, I imagine.
But then you have the mental aspect.
I'm sorry. The feed is a little bit clunky, but I think I'm getting the gist of it. I'm figuring out what you're talking about. There is a certain bit of strength training to riding a horse, because you do have to grip the horse with your legs and with your hands. You have to kind of guide them around. So you do develop a relationship with the horse. Now, Jenifer Lopez, is this something you've been doing your whole life?
No, I have not done. I have volunteered a little bit at a hippotherapy center before I was got the 2 jobs a few years ago. So it's been about 5 years ago. I did a little volunteering, and then I had my 2 jobs. So my time I was volunteering to go to the volunteer location. But this is something that I have known about and wanted to do since I was young. Oh my goodness! I drew out plans for a place when I was and I took it to my dad and I'm like, how much would it cost me to have a layout like this and to provide this for people? And he said about $1 million.
Wow.
But it's always something that I knew was out there and that I knew was good for people. I had horses growing up. I know how much they've helped me, and I've seen the impact of what they can do for other people. My friends in stressful situations would come and ride when I was younger and interact with my horses and the stress relief they can receive from that. So that is what I'm looking for. What I'm looking to do is to build a facility and locate therapists, volunteers, and provide them with the area, a location for people to come and hold their therapy there. So we will have therapists, and they actually hold their therapy session on the using barns and our arenas.
Now, Jenifer Lopez, whereabouts are you located at? Where do you want to have this facility?
We're in Judsonia, Arkansas, so we're just 20 minutes outside of Searcy.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're pretty close to Searcy. Mm-hmm.
I'm very familiar with both of those places. I'm here in Conway, Arkansas now, so I'm not too far away from you. I've been here since 2009, and I'm getting to know the state of Arkansas, the great state of Arkansas. There's so much to do here, so much to see. It's the only place with a diamond mine. You can go panning for diamonds. Tell me about the place that you're at. Tell me what are the qualities of Judsonia. You could speak on the tourism board of Judsonia. Tell us about Judsonia.
Well, we don't have a whole lot here in Judsonia now. Searcy's got something to holler about. They've got the Harding University there, the college that's pretty famous, and they've got ASU Searcy there. Judsonia here, we just got good people. That's what we've got. We do have the school just up the road, the White County Central School. It's about 3 miles from where I want to build our therapy center. And so it's close to us. There are therapy centers that work through the school as well. They have the kids from the school who are in special needs come out to the location and hold class and therapy there. And that's something I'm also would like to look into when we get established, is working our school system around here.
That's fantastic. Jenifer Lopez, are you trained as a therapist, or is that one of your endeavors? Do you want to be a therapist someday?
No, I'm not trained as a therapist. My talents lie in finding people who have this skill and this ability and getting them a location and where they can do it at. But no, I didn't have any college to do therapy or anything of that nature. But I have always been interested in science. Just I know horses and I know people. I can relate to people, and I do things and get people who have the skill to target the physical and the mental, address that with people, then I can just help merge them together. I can get them together.
Yeah, Jenifer Lopez, the world needs people like you that puts people together to create various things. I guess that would be an entrepreneur or a philanthropist, if you wanted to put a word to it. That's a wonderful thing that you're doing. Now, are your kids into horses as well? Have they ever been on horses?
Yes, they are. Actually, we do a little YouTube channel. We don't have a whole lot of videos out there, but the last one we shot is my daughter and a barrel horse. She's about 24 right now, and you can see my daughter kind of doing some groundwork to build a partnership with her. And anyway, it's on our YouTube channel. Horses and Ponies is what it's called, the channel.
Horses and Ponies. Well, I'll definitely look for that, and I'm going to put it in the show notes. I want you to get lots of subscribers because I do want you to document this. Say the name of the thing again. Horses and what?
Horses and Ponies is the YouTube channel.
Okay. Now, yeah, I do want you to have this well documented online. That way people can know more about you. It sounds terribly interesting, the therapy, and thank you for teaching me a new word, hippotherapy. I just looked it up, and it's the use of horseback riding as a therapeutic or rehabilitative treatment, especially as a means of improving coordination, balance, and strength. And I could see that as an end as you're riding horses, you can get all that strength. You can develop all that coordination. And you telling people, that are in wheelchairs, they feel low. I hadn't thought of it really because I haven't spent a lot of time in a wheelchair. I mean, I guess there was a time I hurt my leg, so I sat in a wheelchair, and I know it did change the way I viewed the world. But people in wheelchairs are always a little lower than everyone else. But once you put them on a horse, I could see that. You're opening my eyes to whole different things, Jenifer Lopez. You're so many different levels. Have you always been in Judsonia? Is that your place? Is that your hometown?
Yeah, I grew up here. We moved back here when I was 11. We had lived over towards BB, and we lived out in Nebraska for about 5 months when I was right about 10 going on 11 for my health. He had asthma. Of course, he's passed away now, but, we was just there for a short little bit, and we come right here, and that's where we've been ever since, so for a long time. But, I would like to tell everybody about this too. In one of my jobs that I had that I lost due to this COVID, I worked in the medical transportation, so I would take people to the doctor. And there are a lot of people in our area, because I went all over Arkansas, but there were a lot of people in our area who are wheelchair bound or have certain disabilities. They go to therapy. People for all kinds of different reasons. So there is a big need for this here. One of my clients who sticks out to me is about 30 minutes away from here. And her and her grandson were the last ones I took before they closed down our office. And I was telling her about wanting to open up a hippotherapy center and what I was working on doing. And she was telling me about her grandson was watching TV one day, and he's wheelchair bound. And she was flipping through the channels, and all of a sudden there was horses on the channel, and she said he just perked up and became more attentive when he seen that. And she's like, I think if he could interact with them in person, it would just do so much for him. And, she told me, she said, well, hurry up and get your center built. Hurry up. I remember her telling me that. So I keep her in mind with that, because she said, let me know as soon as you do and everything. So I thought, man, I've got to, with my income and what I was doing, I wasn't able to move fast. I didn't make a whole lot, but I was able to make some progress. But that's, really the community and getting help from the people in our state and surrounding states to build something like this. I can provide this quicker for people.
Well, that's the thing about living in a small town, Jenifer Lopez, is people are going to help you out when you're in need. And I'm guessing that you have a lot of friends in that area. And, people know who you are. I mean, it could be good and bad. People are always in your business if you're in a small town. But if you're in need, generally in a small town, people will help you out. And I've found that in my life, growing up. I guess I'm from Miami, but I lived in the Florida Keys. And Key Largo, you wouldn't think so, but it's a real small town. In all of the Florida Keys, 100 miles long, there's only 10,000 people that actually live there. So in Key Largo, maybe there's 2,000, maybe. So that's really small town right there. And I remember, I was on the fire department as well. So if a house burned down, people were always there to lend a helping hand to help you build back up. How much have you gotten into this Grace Abounds Ranch? How much have you got towards it? Have you got a piece of land picked out? Have you got any acreage, or have you bought the land? How far into this have you gotten to where you need to get help here?
Yeah, so what we've got is the land that I grew up on. So when we moved back here, my parents got 20 acres. And that's where I grew up at. And since, I got out of high school and everything, my husband and I bought a couple acres. So when my dad passed away, I was 18, and my mom remarried. So she lives there with her husband a few miles from me. So the 20 acres that we're going to build this on has just been sitting empty. And I have taken down an old barn that was damaged on it that we had when I was younger, and I took down the house trailer we grew up in to get all that off of there, so we got a clean slate. So we got 20 acres to work with, ready to go. And so what I'm working on now, I bought the fence to fence in the perimeter of the place. I bought that in January. I took out a loan for it, so I'm still making the loan payments on it. But I bought that. And then the next thing that I'm looking to get is the barn. So I've got an area that, so before my dad passed away, if anyone goes to the GoFundMe, they'll see a picture of the 20 acres or part of it. You can't see all the 20 in the picture, but there's a red building there that I'm going to use as the office for the therapy center. And my dad had built that building right before he passed away because he was starting his own business, but he passed away before he could get it going. But he built this to be an office. And so I'm going to use it as an office for a therapy center. And directly behind it, he had built up a slab, the ground. He had built the ground up to have a warehouse kind of area back there. And it is perfect for me to go ahead and just put a barn on. It's already built up the ground, and all I need is the frame of the barn to be able to put on that location. So yeah, I've got that ready to go there.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Jenifer Lopez. I'm actually looking at the picture right now. And if you go to the GoFundMe, let's see, GoFundMe.com, and just look for Grace Abounds Ranch. It's on there. There's the one picture on the gallery, and there's that red building that your dad built. That has to be so special that you could still use that red building, and make use of it. I'm sure you'll put a picture of your dad in that building somewhere to let people know, hey, that's the guy that built this place. And it says, this is a picture of the 20 acres where we will build the barn for the future therapy center. My dad built the big red building to use as an office for his building he was starting, but he passed away before he can complete it. I will use this building as a therapy center's office. I think he would like that. Oh, man. Let's see. I can't wait to see a barn and the horses here, along with lots of therapy going on. You have a dream. You have something in your head already. Do you have it down on paper? You say you designed this all by yourself?
I've drew it out a million times. I actually tell the kids all the time. I'll be walking around the house doing some thinking, writing things down, looking up different layouts at other, like I'll Google on the computer and see layouts of barns and things and just get ideas. And I'll tell the kids, let's go to the 20. And I'll walk around and we'll discuss if this would be, better here or here, to make sure everything flows and the work can get done as it needs to in a good manner. But yeah, I'm always going and I'm like, kids, let's go to 20. And I have to walk around and just, point out what I'm got in my head.
As a planner, Jenifer Lopez, I've heard of people putting up dream boards and they put little ideas on there. Do you ever log this into a book, or do you have, what's your method for designing things or planning things?
I got a dry erase board and I have drawn it out several times on the dry erase board, and I just got a notebook to where I write down all kinds of notes and things that I think of. And periodically I just go back through and read over it, and anything new I got, I add to it. Any ideas for programs, like for instance, okay, I was in the Medicaid transportation, so I would take people to the doctor. So again, little things, I would ask them, anybody who was in a wheelchair or something, things that would make things easier for them, like, you want the door to be wide enough, and sometimes going into an office, maybe their door wasn't wide enough, so okay, make sure everything is accommodating, width-wise and stuff. But also I was thinking in an area where I would like to have them be able to bathe the horses. So I was thinking about how that layout should be. So simple things like, all of a sudden it occurred to me, well, the water hose needs to come and drop down from the ceiling so that if they're in their wheelchair and they're driving around, the horse in their wheelchair, they're not running over and having to get the water hose out of the way. Little notes like that I'll make to myself all the time.
It's so amazing, Jenifer Lopez, where you have that insight to people in wheelchairs. You worked with them. Now, you say you lost 2 jobs. You don't have to say exactly what the jobs were. One of them was in the medical field, medical transporting. I wouldn't imagine that wouldn't be an essential thing where you have to bring people to different medical things. That has to be an essential. But anyway, what was the other job that you had? You don't have to say exactly what it was, but what kind of a job was it?
Yeah. So I'm with you on the medical transport. I thought that we would be fine. Everybody in our office down here at Cersei thought that we would, make it through this COVID, but our corporate had other ideas. But the other job that I did was just a newspaper route, and that actually bought feed for the horses that we have right now. So the Medicaid transport helped pay for, my utilities and things of this nature, living, and getting to pay the loan on the fence and things like this, going towards that. And then I did a newspaper route, and that helped just buy feed for the horses that I got. They cost money no matter what's going on.
Absolutely.
And so I would get up about 2:00 in the morning and go deliver newspapers until about 4:30, 5:00. And then sometimes I would be back on the road. As soon as I got to the house, I'd jump into the Medicaid van and take off and, take somebody to Little Rock.
Wow. Some people would think that newspapers and print is dead, but I don't think so. I go and I visit with the Courier up in Russellville, Arkansas, and I go talk to them quite a bit. And I know that, if print was dead, they wouldn't have a job. So I know that people like to pick up things. One of the things I used to do, I was working on the radio, and one of the things I used to do in the morning before the morning show was grab a paper and come in and read the news to the people while I was on the air. Find some news items, some interesting things. I couldn't imagine that that's not an essential business either. How could you? A paper route has to be essential. People have to have their news.
A lot of the people on my route probably weren't too happy because they were a lot of senior citizens, and they do enjoy getting their paper like that. But that company just felt like they needed to go towards the electronic, so they just discontinued our routes.
Wow, Jenifer Lopez, that's a bit of bad luck you've had there. I'm so sad, but I know that you have this. That's probably just going to make you go even stronger into trying to put this together, the Grace Abounds Ranch LLC. I imagine this has put a bug, a fire under your bonnet, I guess is the Southern colloquialism. I'm trying to figure all this out. Like I said, I've only been here since 2009. I'm from Miami. I'm a city boy. I'm trying to learn this country stuff.
Growing up, I had always been taught, if you want something, you work hard for it. Okay, I was working hard for it. You want some, if that's not getting it, work harder. So, okay, 2 jobs, I worked even harder. And then now they've been taken away from me, so I haven't been able to continue with progress like I was. So I think the Lord is just kind of telling me, okay, you need other people here. You're not going to do this on your own. Let's get out there and find the people who can help you.
Oh, absolutely. It's good to have people that help you. Now, do you have anybody that's helping you to design this thing? Or, you said you have horses. Are they on that 20 acres or do you have them barn someplace else?
Right, so they're not on 20 acres. So my mom, although she doesn't like to be in the public view, she doesn't like her picture taken and to be out there known on it. But my mom is involved with the horses every step of the way. She's in there with me, and she wants this just as bad as I do. She's just willing to let me go ahead and do the outward deal. She likes to be the silent person in it. But right now, so like I said, after my dad passed away, my mom met someone and she's remarried. And so a couple miles from us, he has cows. He rears cows. Larry is who she remarried to. And so we got the horses over there. We got 5 of them there, and we've got 2 of them here at the 2 acres my husband and I have that we bought this house like 13 years ago. And we've got the 2 ponies here with us and the big horses over there at her house. But, you may say, well, why not just hold therapy sessions there? Well, for one, where the big horses are at, it's a cow farm. It's not made for horses at all. The layout of the terrain and everything won't be conducive for that. And so we've got a barn that we kind of use, and like put a horse up one at a time. We don't have a lot of stalls, just like one stall we fix up. And then everybody's kind of spaced out in different locations. So when we feed, we have to kind of walk a mile to get it all done. It takes time even than that. So we'd like everything to be more centralized, get work done faster, and moving them to that 20 acres and having a barn and everything is more horse friendly over there.
Jenifer Lopez, you've already alluded to it. You've already told the people this place needs to be specialized. You're going to have people in wheelchairs, people with special needs, people that need some kind of access. I imagine there's going to be some kind of a platform for the people in the wheelchairs, and then right next to maybe some grass or some feed to where the horses will be there. But then the people in the wheelchairs still need to have access to the horses. So you're going to have all kinds of specialized routes so the people in the wheelchairs can get to the horses. I could see that a regular barn, just a run of the mill barn is not going to be conducive to what you're trying to do. You're trying to do something special right there in Jedzonia, Arkansas, right outside of Searcy. So, the people need to know it's not going to be a barn with horses. It's going to be a therapeutic center, a place, a very special place. Now, are you planning on having? I mean, what do you foresee on this on the Grace Abounds Ranch? Is it going to be, do you see how many stalls there are? Do you envision how many horses you're going to have, and can other people bring their horses as well? What's your vision on that, Jenifer Lopez?
As big as I can make it. That's my vision. So what I'm looking for right now is the slab that's already built up behind that red building can hold a 40 by 60 barn. So 40 wide, 60 long. And if we did stalls 12 by 12, which is the standard, then you could get 5 of them down the side. And that leaves us 28 feet and then wide and then 60 long for people to groom and get a horse tacked up and ready to go to an arena area to hold their therapy session there. And that's a start. That will get us in the door, because eventually I will file for a nonprofit status. But, the government, they like to see you already doing something. They like to kind of see it going before they just jump in and give you, your nonprofit money to function with. So, that's something that I'm also doing. I've been getting references for lawyers around our area to file paperwork for nonprofit status, seeing what lawyers are good. But, lawyers, unless they want to do it pro bono, they're not free. So it can cost also to do that. So I'm having to kind of focus on our barn right now.
Well, Jenifer Lopez, it sounds like you have a plan. Sounds like you have some people in your corner. You have a good family, definitely, that's backing you up. Your mom and your husband and even the kids right there. They want to be a part of this all. They even want to be part of this podcast, and tell a little bit about, what they do. Well, I see the one right there smiling smiling right behind you. Well, I mean, if I could ask a question from your child, what do you think of all this horse stuff and the 20 acres and the dream that your mom has?
I think it's going to be very successful. I'm very proud of what she's doing, and I want to be a part of it. It seems really fun to do.
Do you like taking care of horses?
Yes.
That's fantastic. I know when I was a kid growing up in high school, I guess maybe even, when I was in junior high school, I was maybe 9th grade. I worked on the Barbie Ranch in Davie, Florida, just outside of Fort Lauderdale. And it was fun grooming the horses. It wasn't so fun cleaning up the poop, but that's part of it. But grooming the horses and getting to know them and just really developing a relationship with this animal that is just so big and so majestic. It's if anybody out there that is listening or even watching this show hasn't dealt with horses in the past, I encourage you, before, put that on your bucket list before you go, get to know a horse and even ride a horse. If not, through the woods or anything, but certainly on a ranch. And I can imagine people just coming to the Grace Abounds Ranch even if they don't need a specific therapy of any kind. Therapy, it's a very broad spectrum. It could be just someone who's just feeling blue, and you get on a horse, you're going to feel much better. And if you have Jenifer Lopez helping you to develop a relationship with that horse, I'm sure you're going to feel much better. Is that the kind of thing that you want to do as well? I mean, besides the people in the wheelchairs and the people that have physical ailments and problems, and they're dealing with those kind of things, but you want to do, like, mental health as well?
Right. So that is the equine assisted side of it. And so, yeah, that's using the horse and the interaction with the horse to help somebody with an emotional issue maybe they're having. So in the GoFundMe, I kind of describe a little bit about that, because there's two particular things that I really like. I want to activate first when we get a facility ready for people. And one of them is, my dad, I lost him at 18, and it was unexpected. So I would like for a program for like kids who have, or anyone who's lost a loved one, to be able to come out and interact with the horses, whether it be just to take them on walks, or I would like to make a path around the 20, is, kind of disc it up in a path, a walking path, that they can just take the horse and walk around that path and think about life, cry if they need to out there with the horse, just filming the horse, and just release some of that tension, because horses can really allow you to release some of that emotion and relieve that stress. And therapists will use a horse in that sense for someone. So if you have a child who's going to therapy and maybe they're not wanting to communicate with the therapist, you can research and find that therapists tend to say that if they use the horse in their therapy session, it allows that child to open up and to trust the therapist more, to be more open to telling the therapist how they feel and what's going on, and also to receive the therapy back. So the advice that the therapist is given and work through it. The horse just somehow helps them to relax enough to open up in that way. And I think that will help a lot. If you lose a loved one and you're young, it's very hard to deal with. And I want people to use the horses and have a healthier outlook on life, to realize and come out of it with a good, healthy outlook, not get into things that are destructive, but to work through that grief and come out in a healthy, able to move on with their life in a healthy way.
Now, Jenifer Lopez, when your papa died, and I'm sorry that he died when you were so young, how did you cope with that? Did you have horses, or was there another way that you were able to get through?
Yeah, I had horses. All growing up, I did rodeos. My parents, every weekend we were at a rodeo or going. That is one thing that my dad made sure of. We always did that. And we always had the horses with us. But yeah, just being around them, just continuing to be around them, and just, between that and the Lord, He helped me out a lot. And it takes a while. It's not something that's, overnight and everything. But the stress relief of being around the horses, just to give you some peace for a little bit. You can cry on their neck and they don't say nothing. They don't say anything wrong. They don't try to get you to quit crying. They just let you do it. And that can just be something there.
Well, Jenifer Lopez, it sounds like you had a very special relationship with your dad, and him taking you. It takes a lot for a parent to break away from their busy day. They're trying to raise a family. They're trying to get some work done, bring some money into the house, and then on top of that, to take their child and help them to develop their wants and their desires. And you wanted to play with, be on horses and do rodeos and stuff, and he was there to cultivate that. I have a 14-year-old myself. She wants to dance, and I'm very happy that she dances. She dances and she loves it, and that's a beautiful thing. Many people have different ways of coping with loss and grief, and that's definitely one way. And so you are like living proof that horse therapy works, that hippotherapy works. That and the and what was the so hippotherapy is the therapy to develop the strength. Then what was the one that to help with the grief and mental problems?
Okay, so yeah, hippotherapy focuses a little bit more on your physical body, strength, flexibility, they'll do things for that. And the equine assisted therapy focuses more on kind of the benefits that you get from just interacting with the horse. It doesn't even necessarily have to be riding the horse. Whereas hippotherapy, you ride the horse because that's where you're getting your physical benefit. The movement of the horse mimics the walking of a person, moves everything in that same manner. But on the equine assisted therapy, that is where you just do whatever really the client needs, whatever the person needs. If it just is brushing the horse, feeding the horse, it can be riding, any of that. The therapist can use it in any way they need to help the client, help the person.
Well, reading through the bio, I could see that you were maybe a religious person. Does that play into it as well?
It does. I mean, the Lord's been good to me, and I want to be good to others. I mean, he's just really been good to me in my life and helped me through a lot of things. And I want to pass that blessing on to other people, and just any way that I can. He's given me the ability to understand horses and know horses, and so I think that's kind of my calling, is to be able to use them to help people out.
Jenifer Lopez, if there were more people that just help each other out. I mean, I tell people a lot on this podcast, especially, at the end, and I always say, you got to take care of yourself, make sure that you're straight, with what you need to be doing, and then help other people. Always try to lend a helping hand. If you don't say no to everyone that has a hand out, because you just don't know what they're going through. And I appreciate that you're a person that likes to help other people. Yeah, maybe you'll make a couple bucks. Maybe you'll keep a roof over your head. But this is it is a passion for you. You're not making any money on this right now. And if it shows a profit ever, I mean, if it shows a profit ever, hey, that's a plus. But right now, I can tell this is a passion project for you, is to get those horses on that 20 acres of land. What's the next thing that needs to happen on that 20 acres? You have the office. Is that all set up and ready to go? Do you need to put a barn on that slab? Is that the next thing?
Yes, putting a barn on that slab is the next thing that will, it's really like the big thing, because you can't have people come out without, a roof to work under, and your horses to get them in an area to clean them up for the therapy sessions. Now, earlier back this year, I had cut down, I was talking about an arena because what you want is a safe environment for someone to work. So it's not like we would put somebody on a horse and have the whole 20 acres for the horse to be able to maneuver on. That's not safe for somebody. So we have a 120 foot wide by 200 foot long designated area that will be our arena. And so, ideally, in the future, getting a metal fence around that and a roof and everything to be able to work in all kinds of weather. Oh, that's the dream right there. But what I can start out with is I cut down some cedar posts earlier this year, and actually I cut down 5 of them with the axe. And then my mom and her husband came out with the chainsaw. Let me get the rest of them. And I was very grateful for that. And so we're going to sink those cedar posts in the ground, and then we'll have us some paneling. We'll need to purchase the paneling there, and we'll have an arena for the therapist to be able to take a person into and have a controlled environment to where they can hold the therapy safely. And once we have that barn and I sink those posts and we put that up, next thing is just, getting insurance to cover, which I can be getting all that in the process. I'm going to be locating therapists in the process of getting the barn built so that everybody can just start coming out when it's ready.
Jenifer Lopez, if there's one thing that people can take away from this podcast, from this video interview, is that you're a hard worker. You're not afraid to get your hands dirty and get in there. If something needs to be done, Jenifer Lopez is going to do it. Okay, you need something cut down? Yeah, get that chainsaw. You're going to cut it down. So you're not afraid of hard work. And I'm guessing that you're instilling that into your kids as well. I know that they want to help out as well, but Are they good? Are they hard workers? Do they earn their keep?
I'm gonna tell you what, these kids have worked every step of the way with me on this stuff. When I was tearing down that house trailer, I mean, I have in that GoFundMe about me having a crowbar and a hammer, but I'm gonna tell you, they had a crowbar and a hammer in their hands as well. And we took that thing down board by board, bit by bit, and threw it onto a burn pile and burned it. And then we took the ashes of that and scooped onto a trailer and hauled them off out of the way. And they were there every bit of the way. So these kids are hard workers, I'm telling you.
Well, you're training you're training the next generation to be great. And I appreciate that. You're doing your part. You're doing your job, Jenifer Lopez, raising some good kids. Well, all right. Let the people know once again how to get a hold of you. Do you have any social media besides the Twitter? Is that the one way to get a hold of you right now? Because I was looking for you on Facebook. I was looking for you on Instagram. And I can't even find the YouTube page. I looked up horses and ponies, and boy, there's a whole bunch of horses and pony videos. So cute.
We probably don't have quite enough videos yet to really make it on the radar, but on the horses and ponies. But yes, I have a Facebook page. I was always the outside person, and I've been just, like I say, I was working, and I was working at the 20. I didn't have a whole lot of time to get online and socialize. I did my socializing in person. And so now that I'm off, I don't have those jobs from this COVID, I do have more time to do that. So I am getting online more. So yeah, I do have the Twitter, and I had to Google every single icon about that Twitter and Instagram and everything to understand how to post things. So I'm totally new to this technology stuff. But I do have the Twitter, I have Instagram, and I have the Facebook. But it's Jenifer Lopez on the Facebook, isn't it? Yeah, I don't know. I guess if somebody typed in Jenifer Lopez and they just have to scroll down enough to find my face, I guess. I don't know how you would really go about searching someone out in that manner.
Well, I've definitely tried that. I looked up Jenifer Lopez with Get Ranch to try to find it that way. And all they want to do is give me J-Lo. I don't want J-Lo. It's one N. It's one N. Jenifer. Not Jenn. It's one N.
No. I'm just not famous enough yet.
You are famous. You're more famous now than you were before. Than you were about 45 minutes ago. All right. All right. I kid, but I do want people to know about you, and I do want people to help you out if they have the means. There's always, somebody who's made a bunch of money, who's been blessed in their life, with success. And, before they go, what are they going to do? Take it with them? No, they're going to help other people out, hopefully. And that's, you go back to the Rockefellers and the Carnegies and all the people that made money at the turn of the century and even before they died, their idea was to give it all away, donate it. And donating to your cause, why not? You're not asking for much. You're wanting to help people with this Grace Abounds Ranch, kindness through horses. I want you to make sure that you brand that hashtag. Every time you post something on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, use that kindness through horses. And I want whenever somebody hashtags kindness through horses, I want it to lead back to you and your ranch, the Grace Abounds Ranch. And that's something I've learned recently through this miracle of technology. And I'm glad that you haven't been socializing online. Whenever I'm online, it's mostly business. I'm promoting my DJ business most of the time, or I'm promoting the podcast most of the time. I don't do a lot of socializing either. So if you just talk about Grace Abounds Ranch and the kindness through horses, I think that would be a great use of time online. And everything else, go meet somebody face to face, socially distanced, of course, at this time.
Right. Yeah, we're going to need some interaction with horses when this is all over, so we can learn how to interact with people again. They help us learn how to interact with people. That'd be great.
Oh my goodness, you are so right, Jenifer Lopez. So right. Well, I've enjoyed talking to you. I've had a good time talking with you. Are there any other avenues that you want to explore? Anything else you want to tell people about? This is your free time right now.
Oh my goodness. No, I could probably go on and on forever about it with my ideas and dreams, but I crunched the numbers on here. I've got on the GoFundMe for asking for $14,000, and that was to help me for the loan that I took out in January for the fence, and then $10,000 for the barn to have it built. And I crunched the numbers on that to see how many people it would take to have the barn built at $20, and 500 people at $20. And that's $10,000 right there. That's the barn. It's built.
That's not
And
much.
so I thought to myself, if we can just chip away at it, and that's what I tell my husband, you know what I mean? I'm going to go chip away at it, do some little bit of work here and there. Eventually, you're chipping away at it. You got something big. You got it done,
You've got a goal, you've got dreams, and I see you have your husband helping you out with that, mom helping you out, the kids helping you out. You got people that love you and that believe in your vision, believe in your dream, the Grace Abounds Ranch. And I would be remiss. I know the people are listening on the audio podcast, but the people that are watching on the video podcast, just tell the people about that hat. That is the coolest hat.
It's my happy hat.
Where did you get that hat?
Oh, well, the hat itself, I just bought at Walmart, so you can find them at Walmart. I do not shop expensive. And I just got a little braided rope here that I did. It was in my daughter's collection of bracelet making material, and just some two little flowers there to make it happy.
Well, you made something that was inexpensive, very fabulous, and that's very enterprising. You may have a side job there designing hats, and maybe your baby will help you out on that one. That's beautiful. And bracelets and hats, and that's something you can put up in the office and maybe have a little shop on the side to help to earn some more feed money. Because raising horses, you're just going to have to end up just feeding that horse. It's like having a really gigantic big dog, and if you know how expensive dog food is, it's 10 times that, 20 times that for a horse, I imagine.
Yeah, and going to be heading into the winter. It's kind of nice when summer's around. They got some grass to eat on, but when you get in the winter and you got to start with that hay, now you just doubled it.
Oh my goodness. Well, all right, Jenifer Lopez. I guess I've taken a lot of your time, and hopefully this helps a little bit. But usually I end these things with last words for the people, and this could be some words that you live by, something that you've heard all your life, maybe something that somebody told you when you were young, and you go, "Wow, yeah, that makes a lot of sense." Or it could just be whatever pops into your head right now. Jenifer Lopez, last words for the people.
I'm going to say what is on my GoFundMe and kind of like what I kind of like to think about and do my day by. And I think that mercy is the greatest proof of God's existence, and that I think we should show mercy at every occasion.
Well, there you have it, party people. Jenifer Lopez. What a nice lady. My goodness. She has some dreams, and her dreams include helping other people. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing that is. Grace Abounds Ranch, LLC. Look it up on GoFundMe. If you got a couple bucks, throw it in the pot. She's not asking for much. She's got it all in her head, on books, on a dry erase board. She's got a vision, and she's been putting it into action. And if there's work to be done, she's going to do the work. If she has to do it herself, she will. She'll get her kids involved. She'll get her husband involved. She'll get her mama involved. She's got a good base of people that are helping her out. And if you can help out, please do. Look up Jenifer Lopez, Grace Abounds Ranch, Kindness Through Heroes. She's on the GoFundMe, GoFundMe.com /F/Grace Abounds Ranch. Yeah, it's in the show notes in case you can't remember. So thank you so much, Jenifer Lopez, for telling a little bit about you and your story and what you're hoping to do with the rest of your life. Help people. Oh my goodness. People helping people. That's the way it should be. We got to help each other out. Quit knocking each other down. Help each other out. Thank you. It's good to know you, Jenifer Lopez. I appreciate that so much. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Yes, I'm turning my attention to you, the loyal listener, the loyal viewer. If you would like to tell your story, I encourage you to check out to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, radiowhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.